Hello everyone, welcome to Curious Life. In this video, as promised, I'm going to be going through my Flylady Zone 1 clean and show you how I've customized it so that it works for me. It is quite different from the Flylady Zone clean now, but it is interesting to see how you can take a concept like the Flylady Zone cleans and really make it your own. Later in the video, I also want to talk a little bit about intentional homemaking, and I'm also going to be letting you guys know some exciting news for the channel. I've been really looking forward to sharing this with you for a while now, but right now we should start getting on with our zone clean. I've grabbed my cleaning supplies and my index card box, and while we get going with the clean, let me introduce myself. My name is Issa and I make intentional homemaking videos with my wife Blaze. So as you can see, I'm getting on with my first task, which is cleaning scuff marks off the wall. I actually skipped the other task on this card, so I do need to remember to prioritise that month. But once I've cleaned the walls, I'm going to move on to my next task, which is cleaning my light switches. And while I do that, I'll try and explain my thinking behind this zone clean. So if you aren't aware, zone cleans are part of the Flylady cleaning system, which is a monthly routine where you would usually split your home into 5 zones, and then every week of the month you focus on one of the zones, and you get through a list of tasks that give the room or the zone a good clean. And for the most part, I follow this, except I have recently changed my zone 1 so that it isn't a room at all, but it's something else. And this is actually working out pretty well. So let's get into what that change is and why it's helped. So I've split my home into 4 zones rather than 5. Zone 2 is my entranceway and utility room. Zone 3 is the kitchen. Zone 4 the living room and the offices. And Zone 5 is the bathroom and bedrooms. And that just leaves me with Zone 1, which isn't a room at all, but is actually a collection of monthly and sporadic tasks that I decided to lump together into one zone. So this is the type of task that makes sense to do all at the same time because they use the same equipment, like cleaning all my windows and mirrors or cleaning the radiators. But it is also tasks that if I put them in with the room zone clean, they often get ignored or missed. They are the type of tasks that I consistently decide not to do, like cleaning doors, light switches or lights. They're the type of thing that it's easy to forget or not do or just decide isn't that important. But Zone 1 is also when I've decided to do monthly tasks that are not really related to any room, like what you see me currently doing, which is changing Alan's water. Alan is our pet moss ball and needs clean water every month, so I've added that to my Zone 1. In addition to this zone, it's also where I put tasks that don't need to get done every month, but tasks that are more sporadic than that. For me, this is things like decluttering tasks, like I need to declutter our office cupboards again this month, but I only do that about every 6 months, so once I've done it, I'll pop it back into the index card box for around March, and I don't need to worry about that until then. Another task that fits into this is the changing the batteries in our smoke and monoxide alarms. We do that every 6 months, and we also do this to coincide with when the clocks change for daylight savings. And that just serves as an extra reminder to do it because that one's a pretty important one to do. But then once it's been done, again, I'll put it in for March next year and I don't need to worry about it again. So I have moved on to cleaning my windows, my mirrors and doors. And then after that, it will just be my lights and radiators to do for this month's zone clean. I do have a couple of extra things to do this month, like I said, decluttering the office cupboards. But that's a really big job, so I'll do that on a day when I have nothing else. But I hope that gives a little explanation into how I've set up my Zone 1. It has really helped me to get the tasks that I avoid done. I have found in my journey of looking after our home a little better that if I'm struggling with a particular task, then it's usually because I need to give that task a little bit more time and space or get some help with it. These are all the tasks that I avoid or I decide not to do consistently. So now I've given them a zone of their own, they're actually getting done. So that's a win for me. This is the type of thing I mean when I talk about being intentional with my homemaking. I will go into that in a little more detail in a minute because I'm just about finished with my zone clean. But once I finish that zone clean, it isn't my cleaning done for the day. I do have my afternoon routine to do still. This afternoon routine just helps us keep on top of things on a day-to-day basis. It keeps things tidy in the main living areas. And if you are interested in those, I have videos on all of my routines for you to have a look at. But for this afternoon, I do need to sweep the floors. I also need to give them a bit of a spray mop and do a little bit of tidying in the main areas before it's time to make dinner. I also said I wanted to talk about intentional homemaking a little bit, and it's actually quite a big topic, but when you boil it down to what it means at its core, it's more than just doing the tasks that need doing to keep your home and family clean, warm and fed. Blaise and I actually had a discussion about this recently, and I do have something exciting to share about that with you in a moment. But at the end of this discussion, we came to the conclusion that homemaking is the task. It's the what you do to create the home that you want, but the intentional part is actually the why you do it. Well, more than that, it's the why and the how you do the homemaking part. So working out why homemaking is important to you is a key aspect of being intentional with it. For some people, that might be creating a lovely environment for their kids. For others, it might be a different reason. For us, we discovered it's for our mental health. We feel so much happier and calm if our space reflects us and is tidy, clean and calm to be in. And it became so important to us that we decided to make it a priority in our life. Working out our why when it comes to homemaking had a really big impact on the homemaking tasks and how we go about them. It actually changed how we feel about them even. They became less like chores that just needed to be done, and they became an active part in our self-care and just taking care of ourselves. And that mindset change was really huge. But anyway, as I said earlier, I had this discussion with Blaise very recently. And we didn't just talk about it like we normally would. We recorded us talking about it in a podcast. And we enjoyed it so much that we plan to keep recording our discussions and thoughts on homemaking topics. They are going to be both on YouTube and on most podcast apps, including Spotify, as long as it's all working anyway. If you want to watch them, then our first one will be releasing here on YouTube on this channel on Thursday, and then every Thursday after that. That's why we've moved this video to Monday. So from now on, you can expect our usually weekly video to be on a Monday, and then on a Thursday, a podcast video, where we've just recorded us having a discussion. The podcast will also be available in audio only on podcasting apps, and I've actually released our first one on the podcast apps a little bit early. So if you want a sneaky listen a little bit early, then I'll pop a couple of links down in the description below for places that you can listen to it right now. If not, then Thursday is when it'll be releasing here. I hope you enjoy it. We had so much fun recording it, and we also have a lot of thoughts on all things homemaking, and we can't wait to share those with you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you found how I've changed my zone clean useful, or at least something to think about. If you want to see my other zone cleans, I'll pop a link at the end of the video and down below. I've recorded all of them at some point or other, so there's plenty of content there for you to check out. But thank you so much for watching and for all of your lovely comments recently. I do appreciate every one of them. And I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a lovely day.